All right, y'all. So let's talk about this. Fabio Wardley versus Daniel Dubois. Now, I see Fabio as the better boxer between the two. I think he puts his punches together better. Just think he's a smarter fighter than Dubois. I feel like Dubois is more instinctive, and he tends to get reckless. Um, he has a iffy type chin. He when Dubois gets hit, he retreats. So I feel like he gets hurt easily. Um, I remember when he fought AJ, and AJ caught him with some shots, and I caught him with a shot, nigga. And I remember the commentator going, "This guy is not human." Like he's like, AJ shots bounce right off him. Wasn't a clean shot, but I do remember AJ catching him with a left hook before he knocked AJ out. Just remember, and he hit Dubois. Dubois was stunned, but AJ came in very reckless, very careless. Hands down. And of all punches, he's here from the outside, and he goes to throw an uppercut, and basically he got counted. But he rocked Dubois. Usyk, who basically stopped him in the rematch. You know, stopped him in the first fight, stopped him in the rematch, and all the crying about. Yeah, I agree. The low blow was not a low blow; it was a gut shot, and he folded Usyk's ass. I will say that because my two eyes work. And I don't give a shit about the belt line. That belt line was where it was, and for Usyk to say he got hit in his nuts is a lie. He did not hit that man nuts. If he thought he got hit in his nuts, that means he got hit so hard that it might have felt like he got hit in his nuts. But anybody with two good eyes could see that was a gut shot. Problem is, he had the same amount of time as Usyk to rest while Usyk recovers from that body shot. And when Usyk got up, he closed the show, and Dubois didn't. Case in point. No different from Wilder claiming, well, it is different because it wasn't a foul, but Wilder claiming foul because the ref should have just counted Tyson Fury out. And I think that claim is just as bad, even worse, because he's trying to say the referee cheated. And he's saying it's a white privilege thing, which is why the ref did it or whatever. Listen, we've seen referees not call the fight. I've seen dude literally on crawling, falling all over the place trying to get up, and the ref is still counting instead of just we've seen different calls. We've seen that happen. Okay. So when people are saying, but this happened, but that happened, my thing is this: that person just got hit. How are you gonna get up and have more momentum than you? So when he got up, why didn't you close the show? This is what I'm saying. All this crying, come on, man, that's wimpy shit. So I think that with Dubois, Don Charles, he talks so much shit, man. He always try to make Daniel Dubois sound like he's some killer. Like this guy, like you just can't survive a Dubois fight. And when they brought up him, they talking about how he destroyed everybody. When they brought up Joe Joyce, he said Dubois wasn't ready. He was in there too soon. Well, you guys put him in there. You put him in there. And the other thing is, Daniel Dubois is still the same fighter right now as he was then. And he basically just got beat by a jab. And there's a difference with a lack of experience with stupidity. He just didn't know how to move his head and keep his head off that center line. When he fought AJ, if you watch him, he came in there, hunched down, simply because AJ made it known it's harder to fight taller fighters. So if he stays low, he's making AJ throw shots that he don't want. So instead of AJ keeping that hand high, snapping his jab, taking that quick step back, step around, AJ just fought wrong from the start. But he goes in there afterwards and he gets stopped in 4 rounds by Usyk. So, all of this talk, man, and not to mention, he ducked Parker to get that Usyk fight. So as far as we know, Parker might have beat Daniel Dubois. Now, we know things can happen, especially when guys can punch. Unless Fabio Wardley does something really stupid. I mean, getting caught with a shot can happen to any of these fighters. But I think for Fabio, he should knock Dubois out. Dubois doesn't have the courage to trade. Dubois doesn't have the chin to trade. Dubois doesn't have a plan B, plan C, plan D. He only knows how to fight one way. He is a one-dimensional guy that depends on his power to get you out of there. He paused with his jab. He's unsure a lot. He leaves himself open to be hit. And basically, it's easy to frustrate and to intimidate Dubois in that ring. That's why he was so aggressive with AJ. You can't intimidate me, and jumping up, and he was trying to intimidate AJ, but at the same time, he's trying to pump himself up. You see how arrogant he's become, right? Now all of a sudden he's cursing at people and trying to act tough. Notice he wasn't acting like that with Jarrell Miller at all. He was just sitting there smiling and just right? All before that, he wasn't. Now now it's like he tried to have this aggression, like this is part of trying to sell a fight. Once that bell rings, that's what matters. I don't care about all the back and forth banter. That doesn't make a fight. I think, like I said, Fabio's the better fighter, and he need to win this fight. Just keep going forward. Daniel Dubois simply just need to win this fight. However, whether it's decision or knockout, and honestly, unless Fabio honestly is in a bad way, I don't see this guy. I mean, he should not get outboxed by Dubois. He should not lose to Dubois. He really should knock Dubois out. He really should. And all this tough talk and Don Charles, honestly, man, this guy is funny to me, man, because he will talk and talk and talk, and he will say all these things about Dubois as if we don't have two good eyes to see where Dubois stands. He always tried to tell you how in training Dubois was doing this and he was that, and talking about how much Dubois is going to do whatever. Well, anytime you make the excuse that a guy was put in the ring too soon, okay, and I'm going to tell you why I say excuse. I feel like certain fights you can put a guy in there prematurely because he's just not ready, but he has a name or whatever it may be. But here's my thing. As a team and as a fighter, once you decide this is what you want, then you got to go forward with it. And all this premature shit, no. Just fucking say Joe Joyce was the better man. It's as simple as that. Because especially when, example, if you ask Canelo Alvarez and your prime and say Wilfredo Benitez prime, who would have won? If that motherfucking Canelo Alvarez, pay attention to where I'm going. If Canelo Alvarez says, oh, I would have beat Benitez, he's a great fighter, but I would have won. If he would say that, you are now compelled to say, Canelo, why did you lose to Floyd in your opinion when you were 23? Oh, I wasn't ready. I know, Floyd experience. Okay, wait. You do realize you had Wilfredo Benitez won his first belt at 17. And he had less than half the fights that you had when you fought Floyd. You do realize that, right? So at 23, you were a baby and wasn't ready. But Wilfredo Benitez at 17 was fighting grown men and became world champion. And you telling us that you could beat that guy? And your excuse is your age? And that's Canelo or anybody that makes that excuse. Nobody said Mike Tyson was too young when he won his first championship, or Muhammad Ali won his first championship. And you'll always try to resort to talking about how great these guys was when you know that your point that you're trying to make is working against you. But the reality is, listen, man, if I'm fucking 17 and I'm like 16 and 0 and I win a belt or some shit, and you're 23 and you're like 43 and 0 and you lose and your age is your excuse, nah, come on. We're not trying to hear that bullshit. So every fight is experience, win, lose, or draw, right? And so lessons learned is win, lose, or draw, not just when you win. So when you see a fighter that win, lose, or draw, they're just the same fighter. Why even bring up that he was in that fight prematurely? Well, then why did y'all allow it? It's obvious he thought that he could beat Joe Joyce. He's too slow. He said all the right things. Joe Joyce was too slow. He's easy to hit, and he's not going to take my power. Joe Joyce beat him with a jab. You understand? With a jab. We know what happened with his eye. Okay, cool. But him not being able to finish the job. If I'm sitting here looking at Usyk, just put yourselves in this situation. You're fighting Usyk, right? You fold him with a body shot. Bam! He goes down. He pretends it's a nut shot. You know I hurt him to the body. This motherfucker gets to 5 minutes and he's right. You in the corner. I hurt him to the body. Now I know he's gonna come out swinging. He's gonna try to pick it up. Now I'm gonna be ready for him. I'm gonna be ready. But instead, what do? You come out and you're frustrated because in your mind, they're cheating, man. I beat him. They drop him with a body shot and he's acting like, it's like you're wrestling with yourself. You don't close the show. So now this guy just got back up and then he kicked your ass and then stopped you. And what did he drop him with? A fucking jab. He dropped him, made him take a knee with a jab. And he finished him off. You understand what I'm saying? So there's no way, mentally, when you're used to quitting, when you're, my lungs are burning. Yeah, I'm tired. I say it again. Muhammad Ali went in this corner. Muhammad Ali told the reporters at the end, he said, this is the closest I've ever came to dying. And this motherfucker wouldn't quit. Do you understand what I'm saying? You don't have that in you, then yes, there's several fighters that can help you make your mind up to quit. Why? Because it's getting too tough now. Damn, is my eye swollen? Am I cut? Am I bleeding? Damn, is my face swollen? What's going on? Oh shit, is my lips busted up? Damn, is my nose? Yeah. And you start worrying more about what's happening to you physically. And I feel like Daniel Dubois is that fighter that he talks all that shit at the press conference, but once he gets in there, Daniel Dubois tries to come forward, tries to, seek and destroy early. But the second he gets cracked, this is what I'm telling you, you can see he just retreats. And it's like, shit, he's not a thinker in there. He's more of an instinctive guy. But it's like Daniel Dubois only tries to knock you out. He doesn't believe in his boxing skills to work his way in and land the shots properly. He just tried to set you up for one big shot at a time. Fabio Wardley should be used to that. He's faced those styles already. And if he's been watching Daniel Dubois, like he said, he knows that when it gets tough, Daniel Dubois is known to quit, which is what we all know this. So I don't know, to put it like this. If Daniel Dubois can toughen up and make his mind up that if this fight gets tough, I'm not going to quit, we'll have to see come fight night. But other than that, I don't see why Fabio Wardley should lose to this guy. Unless he just lands a shot and get him the fuck out of there. I don't see why he can't beat Daniel Dubois. Daniel Dubois is like I said, he's one-dimensional, and he's not willing to go in there and trade. He's not willing to go in there and fight a firefight, and not smartly. And I think he has a weak chin. It's like I said, just because you get dropped don't mean you have a weak chin. But it's the way he gets dropped, and it's how, when he gets fatigued, like everything. When he has to work harder, he has less time to think. And all his punches just come instinctively. And like I said, everything is to try to take your head off, and then you can telegraph his shots. And Daniel Dubois, basically, he's never shown any of us that he has that ability to really be sharp in the mind. He doesn't parry, catch and shoot. He doesn't do it. All he does is just move, and then wait for you to, as you retract your shot back, he just wings a hard-ass punch at you. And like I said, everything is for the knockout. That doesn't work. What happens? What am I going to do? Damn, none of this shit is working. You understand what I'm saying? And that's Daniel Dubois. So we'll see what happens. But I think that Fabio Wardley should knock him the fuck out, man. And should Daniel Dubois lose this fight, this damages him in a very big way. See, because, yeah, there may be other guys they can match him up with over in the UK. And he might still, have life in his career due to that. But overall, when you can't compete with the top guys, when you keep losing to the top guys, and you step in, you get that one big win against Anthony Joshua, and these other guys that you beat were up and coming guys, or guys who has a little respect on their name but never really done anything. When that type of stuff happens, you still have a lot of work to do. You understand what I mean? So for Daniel Dubois, he needs this win. Fabio just has to be Fabio. Just don't get careless and do anything stupid. He should be fine. Anyway, that's all I got for you guys. At the end of the day, I said what I said.